Yes. Hello viewers, good day to you all. Let's begin the study of bacteria. Bacteria. About the bacteria, their occurrence, distribution, general structure of the typical bacterium cell, their multiplication has been given under your syllabus in the first unit. So the first unit includes about the viruses and bacteria. We have completed the study of the viruses in earlier classes. In this class, I would like to discuss much more about the bacteria. Bacteria, commonly termed as the microbes, commonly termed as the microbes or the germs These are very wonderful, very interesting group of living organisms present upon this planet Earth since the time immemorial. Different number of bacteriologists they have discovered different aspect of the bacteria. Bacteria are true, simple, unicellular microscopic organisms, and these are very smallest microscopic living organisms. Usually, they range in between 0.5 to 50 micron. These are simple, unicellular microscopic organisms, commonly known as the microbes, also called germs. The word microbes or germs is used to describe bacteria always. Bacteria are true cellular organisms. Cellular organisms. They exhibit a true cell structure. These are one of the microscopic organisms. They exhibit a true cell structure, and these are prokaryotes. Their cell don't exhibit a true nucleus. So that's why these are assigned under the prokaryotic the group. These are simple, smallest prokaryotic organisms. Simple, very simple, smallest prokaryotic microscopic organisms. I think you might have studied earlier about the bacteria, about their occurrence, or in other words, about their distribution. They have distributed everywhere, found occur everywhere. Bacteria are Omnipresent means what? They are ubiquitous in their distribution. Ubiquitous. They are present everywhere means what? They are present on the surface of the soil. They are present on the surface of the body of the plant. They are present on the surface of the body of the animal. Even they are present in the buccal cavity of the mouth. They are present. They actually form the microflora of the small intestine. So in the esophagus. So they are present within the body and as well as on the surface of the body, on the surface of the land or ground. They are even present in the air. They are present in the drinking water bodies. Almost they are present in the water which is not being boiled. So the bacteria are widely distributed, present everywhere. They are present in the air, soil, water, on the surface of the body of the plant, on the surface of the body of the animal. So certain microscopic organisms, certain bacteria, they form microflora of the intestine of the animals. Take for example, it is the Escherichia coli bacteria. Actually, it is considered to be as a very interesting and then useful bacterium. It forms microflora of the small intestine of the human beings. Many bacteria are harmful to the welfare of the human beings, and many of them are economically very important. Economically very important. Of course, bacteria they cause deadly, destructive diseases not only in human beings but in a variety of animals. They also even attack plants and cause destructive diseases in crop plants. So therefore, the study about the bacteria it is very important. So in your syllabus about the brief history of the discovery of the bacteria and the general characteristic properties of the bacteria, nothing but the different forms of the bacteria, different the methods of the reproduction or how exactly the bacteria multiply. The general typical study of the typical cell structure of bacterium have also been incorporated in our syllabus. That is what it has been included. The same I have opened up and I am discussing with you all about the same about the history. Let me to share my ideas regarding the discovery of the bacteria. Okay, bacteria are highly successful, very dominant microscopic organisms found everywhere. They also may be present under the soil up to the length of about several feet deep, and the bacteria also present in a wide variety of the habitats. They are also found to occur under very cold climatic conditions, and some of them also found to occur under a very high temperature, such as in the hot springs of the world. So these bacteria are very wonderful creatures of the earth, living upon this planet since the time immemorial. Bacteria are prokaryotes, remember. Some of them also they exhibit photosynthetic pigments in their cell cytoplasm. Because of the presence of photosynthetic pigments, they also undergo the photosynthesis. But the plant photosynthesis and bacterial photosynthesis, it is different. It is different. During the plant photosynthesis, plants release oxygen as a byproduct of their photosynthesis to the atmosphere, whereas such a molecular form of the oxygen not released by the bacteria during their photosynthesis. Anyhow, bacteria are very wonderful the creatures. They now not only cause a very harmful diseases in various animals, including human beings, but many of them are highly useful. So take for example the special branch of the biology, that is the biotechnology. Biotechnology and a number of techniques in the field of the biotechnology developed very fast after the discovery of the number of enzymes within the cell of the bacteria. It may be the restricted endonuclease enzymes and other number of enzymes. Several hundreds of enzymes discovered in the cell cytoplasm of the bacteria. So I shall discuss very much about the economic importance of the bacteria in another class. But this time is very right time to reconsider the history of the discovery of the bacteria. I already quoted that bacteria are most successful, abundant, most ancient group of living organisms, and all of them are very simple, smallest and prokaryotes. These were we study like this. Bacteria were discovered by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek scientist. It was the Dutch man. It was the Dutch man, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek scientist. Leeuwenhoek in the year 1675. He was lived in the 16th century. It was this Anthony van Leeuwenhoek who was considered to be as one of the discoverer of the bacteria. We read like this, we study like this. It was Leeuwenhoek scientist who was discovered the bacteria for the first time with the help of the microscope. So the Leeuwenhoek scientist discovered bacteria in such a way that with the help of a self-made microscope, he was observed the droplets, the drops of the rainwater, and he was called them as a wild animalcules. Wild animalcules. As he was observed for the first time under his self-made the microscope, the drop of the rainwater moving animal-like organisms, he was called them all as a wild animals. He did not coin the term bacteria for them all. He was unaware about the bacteria. For the first time, in this way, the discovery of the bacteria become in the year 1675 by the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek scientist. So therefore, in these days, we study that it was the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek scientist in the year 1675. He was discovered for the first time the bacteria. Thereafter, the discovery, thereafter of about 2 centuries later on, it was the Ehrenberg. He was actually for the first time coined the term bacteria for such animals. It was the Ehrenberg. In the year 1838. After the discovery of the bacteria by a Leeuwenhoek scientist, of about 2 centuries later on, in the year 1838, it was Ehrenberg who was coined the term bacteria for such a wild animalcules which were observed under the microscope. So actually speaking, the study about the bacteria started very fast only after the discovery of the compound microscope, the modern one, or the table microscope itself. Number of bacteriologists, they have contributed a lot in understanding about the bacteria, about their occurrence, distribution, about their shapes and sizes, about their multiplication, about their usefulness, about their even the harmfulness. Number of bacteriologists. Take for example, it was again the Dutchman, I think, Louis Pasteur. Not a Dutchman, France, Paris. He belongs to the Paris, France. The French scientist, Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. I will write one by one. Remember the names of these: Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, Ehrenberg. Now it is Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. The contribution of this bacteriologist, we call him as a bacteriologist because he was made a very wonderful discovery. He was contributed in the field of the bacteriology very much. He was not only contributed the pasteurization, he was not only discovered the process of the pasteurization, okay, the method of boiling, cooling, storing of the raw milk, pasteurization process, the method of storage of the raw milk, termed as a pasteurization. He was not only discovered the pasteurization process, but also the fermentation process. Louis Pasteur, in the year 1864, before the invention of or before the discovery of the pasteurization process or fermentation process, he was examined the taste of the different types of the beer, the wine, the sour beer, like that, the wines, sour wine, and he was noticing that a kind of microbes, the role of the kind of microbes. He said that these microscopic unicellular microbes, the bacteria is responsible for the characters of such a different the wines and the beer itself. He was contributed a lot. Louis Pasteur, he was also postulated the germ theory of the diseases. Germ theory. Germ theory of various diseases. Germ theory of the diseases. He was considered to be as the founder of the modern bacteriology. Founder of modern bacteriology. He was considered to be as one of the founder of the modern bacteriology. He was also postulated the germ theory of the diseases. He was contributed the pasteurization process. Pasteurization process, and also he was invented the fermentation process. Fermentation process. And this is a little bit about the Louis Pasteur, the bacteriologist. Even today we follow the pasteurization process and the fermentation process. Fermentation process, it is widely used throughout the world for the manufacturing of the different alcohols. It may be the methyl alcohol or anything else. Lactic acid fermentation. For the manufacturing of the lactic acid, for the manufacturing of different kinds of the alcohols, we generally follow the fermentation process proposed by the Louis Pasteur scientist. Pasteurization process, it is one of the method which is used to store raw milk. Pasteurization process. We can store the milk, crude milk or raw milk for a longer period of the time. Only when the raw milk it is subjected to the pasteurization process. So in this pasteurization process, the raw milk it is heated to a certain degree of the temperature up to the 70 degrees centigrade. Automatically, it is cooled down to the 0 degree centigrade or even below the 0 degree centigrade very rapidly. Up to a half an hour of the time. This is nothing but the pasteurization process. Even today also pasteurization process it is used to store the raw milk. Fermentation process, pasteurization process. He was also proposed the germ theory of the diseases. He was considered to be as the founder of modern bacteriology. Bacteriology is the branch of the microbiology in which about the bacteria are studied. Number of other bacteriologists were also contributed a lot in understanding about the role of the bacteria, their occurrence, their distribution, their multiplication. Bacteria are most widely and successfully living organisms. They are considered to be as an most successful dominant living organisms. The environmental air it may contain the bacteria. Means what? As the environmental air contain dust particles, these bacteria they may float freely in the atmospheric air up to the height of about several thousand feet. This means that the environmental air also contain bacteria. As I already stated earlier, bacteria is found everywhere in the soil, water, air, on the surface of the body of the plant and the surface of the body of the animals. Of course, sewage contain highly pathogenic microscopic organisms of different kinds. Different means variety of potentially pathogenic microscopic the bacteria abundantly present in the sewage water, sewage itself. Let me to share my ideas about another the bacteriologist. Not only the Leeuwenhoek, the Ehrenberg, the Louis Pasteur. Take for example, number of bacteriologists they have contributed a lot in understanding about the bacteria. The Robert Koch, you might have been heard about the Robert Koch and his the contributions. The modern hospitals are very clean and very hygienic. It is because of the contribution of the Robert Koch. Robert Koch in the Robert Koch, one of the very popular bacteriologist. He was postulated number of postulations, commonly termed as a Koch postulates. Koch postulates or Koch postulations. In the year 1876, Robert Koch postulated about the bacteria, about these microbes or germs. He was one of the bacteriologists that he was given to the world very good contributions for the study of the bacteria. Till today also, or even today also, we are following the method of observation of the bacteria, method of fixing the bacteria, method of photographing of bacteria. This means that Robert Koch, he was developed the method of fixing of the bacteria, the method of photographing of the bacteria, the method of staining of bacteria, how to stain and how to make an observation of different types of the bacteria. Bacteria are very much smaller microscopic living organisms. We can't observe, we can't see them with our naked eyes. These are microscopic. It is possible for us to observe the bacteria, different strains of the bacteria under a microscope. We can observe the microscope under, we can observe the bacteria under the microscope. A very good table microscope, it is useful for the observation of the bacteria. There are symbiotic of bacteria and non-symbiotic of bacteria. Free living bacteria is nothing but a non-symbiotic bacteria. I shall discuss much more about the non-symbiotic bacteria, symbiotic bacteria later on. But this time, just I am discussing with all of you about the contributions of the different bacteriologists. Robert Koch, as he was postulated, his postulations are very famous under the name as a Koch postulates. Koch postulates. Koch postulates are highly useful in the field of the medicine or in the medical field. Medical field. Even today, we use the sanitary wares and we use different that is different disinfectants to clean the floor because of the idea given by the Robert Koch. So Robert Koch, his contributions in the field of the bacteriology for the understanding of about the bacteria, about their diseases, it is very important. It is considered as a great gift to the bacteriology, the field of microbiology. Then another very important, the bacteriologist, that is, you might have known him, Alexander Fleming. He was discovered very important, the antibiotic. Alexander Fleming discovered the antibiotic penicillin with the help of the fungus, that is a penicillium fungus. Penicillin is the name of the antibiotic discovered by the Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming. It was the Hans Christian Grammar in the 18th century, in the 1884. Hans Christian Graham. Hans Christian Graham, 1884, 82, 84. Hans Christian Graham, who was also developed very distinct the staining technique. His staining technique is very popular under the name as a Graham's staining technique. This Graham's staining technique widely used throughout the world for the distinguish or for the classification of the bacteria. To distinguish almost each and every different kinds of the bacteria into two broad categories, namely gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. Even today also, the Graham's staining technique is widely used throughout the world. It is the contribution of this Hans Christian Graham. As he was developed this special technique of the distinction of the bacteria. It is called by the name as a Graham's staining technique. Then Theodor Escherich. He was discovered Escherichia coli bacterium. Escherichia coli bacterium. Very common, one of the bacteria of the intestinal tract of all the human beings. The name of the bacterium has been given under the name as a Escherichia coli bacterium. It was this Escherichia who has discovered the Escherichia coli bacterium. Then number of bacteriologists, not only four mentioned bacteriologists, several bacteriologists, they have made very great contributions to the field of the bacteriology. And take another the bacteriologist Donald Griffith, scientist. Donald Griffith. The Donald Griffith scientist discovered, or a bacteriologist discovered, the bacterial transformation. His contribution is also very important in understanding about the transformation of the bacteria. This transformation made us to undertake the new inventions in the field of the biotechnology and in the field of the bacteriology. Griffith, the scientist. Other than this, Liederberg, Tatum, M.C. Carty, MacLeod. These number of bacteriologists also, they have contributed a lot in understanding about the bacteria. Liederberg and Tatum, these two bacteriologists, they have discovered the conjugation. Liederberg and Tatum, they have discovered the conjugation in bacteria. Conjugation in bacteria, transformation in bacteria, like this. Conjugation and transformation. Number of bacteriologists, they have contributed a lot in understanding about the bacteria. Remember, bacteria are most ancient, most successful, most abundant, simple and smallest prokaryotic living organisms living and existing upon this planet Earth, and are distributed everywhere. in the air, water, soil, everywhere. The topsoil, the 1 teaspoonful topsoil may contain millions of bacteria. Millions of the bacteria. I shall stop here and I shall continue with the next concept in the same unit, the bacteria. Thank you.